Now let's talk about the first trap. The first trap we see a lot in these videotapes, and maybe you see it a lot in your own lives. And it happens when one partner has decided to make a change, gets excited about maybe going to the gym or starting a new diet, and then reaches that first part where it starts to get hard. The enthusiasm's starting to wane, and you reach that, uh-oh, this is going to be harder than I thought. And on the videotapes, we see partners turning to each other at that moment and saying, you know, I still want to do this, but boy, it's going to be tough. Just, you know, I'm used to having that bagel every morning, and there's nothing that I have to replace it. And at the end of the day, getting to the gym is just getting really, really tired. I'm just too tired to do it. I want to stick with it, but I can tell I'm going to need some help.
It's reasonable for a person in a relationship to say that to their partner, to say that they need that help, or to imply it. Lots of times the kind of response that we see following a statement like that goes something like this. That does seem rough, honey. I see what you're saying, but I'm not sure what this has to do with me. Like, why are you telling me this? You're the one chewing your own food, and correct me if I'm wrong, I can't burn those calories for you. You have to lift the weights, right? So I get it. I hear what you're saying. I'm even sympathetic, and I'm not going to get in your way, but why are you telling me this exactly?
The epitome of that kind of response was the one husband who said, puzzled, to his long-suffering wife, I don't get it. What does my eating a pizza have to do with your diet? And it's a fair question, but the answer is a ton, so much. My eating a pizza greatly affects your diet because my eating a pizza affects the environment in which you're trying to make better choices for yourself. Yes, we chew our own food, but if you think about it, the choices that we make as individuals, if we're in a relationship, always and inevitably affect our partner's ability to eat right and move more.
Think about it. If one partner does the shopping, if you're the person who does the shopping in your house, then you decide whether there's sugary treats in the pantry or whether you have a week's worth of fresh vegetables available to you. Your own inclination to exercise, you'll become a model for your partner about how much they're going to exercise. And your partner's choices about what they eat or how much they're exercising, those are choices that are going to affect you as well.
There's some great research on this point that really highlights the interdependence of both partners' health choices when they're in a relationship. It's a diet study, and you've seen plenty of diet studies in the news, right? Where they take a group of people, they assign half of them to some kind of diet, like a low-carb diet or a low-fat diet. And they follow them over time to see if the people on the diet lose more weight, and usually they do, at least while they're on the diet. This one study was just like that. It was a study of some kind of diet, but it was a study of husbands. And what made it unique is that at the end of the study, they didn't just measure the husband's weight, they also measured their wives' weight. Now, the wives weren't in the study. The wives weren't on the diet. But at the end of the study, the husbands who were on the diet lost weight, and their wives lost more weight too than the wives of the husbands who weren't on the diet. The wives lost more weight the more their husbands lost, even though they weren't on the diet.
So the idea in this study is that good health habits spill over from one partner to the other. It's not hard to see why. When one person makes an active effort to be healthy and starts to make better choices, then it's far easier for the partner to start making better choices too. We can be that healthy person for our partner, and we can help our partner to become that healthy person. And when they become healthier, we become healthier as well.
So what happens when couples recognize that they have an inevitable mutual influence over each other's health choices? One thing that becomes clear is that they can see that the small choice I make for myself, even the subtle, invisible decisions I make for myself, can have big effects on both of our abilities to lead healthier lives.
In our tapes, we've seen lots of pretty good examples of this. So there was one woman who was finally feeling pretty good about her eating habits under control, but she was starting to realize that she needed to start exercising more. She needed to get moving, she needed to get on her feet, partly to maintain her weight, but also she wanted to burn off some stress after work. And in our lab, this was the first time that the husband had heard about this issue, and he said, honey, this isn't a hard problem. Let's do this. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I take care of the kids, I give them a bath, you come home after work, spend an hour, spend 90 minutes, go straight to the gym, do whatever it is you need to do, I'll be with the kids, things are fine. When you come home, everything will be set, everything will be great, we'll embrace you with open arms. That's not a hard thing to do, right? It's a simple idea. but it builds on this idea that small changes reverberate in our relationships. Lots of times in situations like this, we see people say, well, just exercise more. I don't know what it is you like to do. Just do more of it. Or why don't you just bring your sneakers to work and just go walk around? Like, I don't get it. But this guy could see that he was uniquely positioned to help his wife and to create a space where she could get on her feet, get moving on a regular basis, help herself feel good about taking control over her life, and everybody benefited in the process.
So what if you want to get this kind of support, that kind of skillful support, but your partner is more like the guy who doesn't understand how his pizza affects your diet? Well, you have an opportunity to open your partner's eyes. A lot of times, our partners don't recognize, they just don't know about how they're influencing us. So we have a role to play in educating them and letting them know, actually, we are effective. Now, there's a constructive way to do this.
So for example, here's one of our spouses said this, and this is a direct quote. You know, I have trouble resisting cookies and chips. You know this. And I don't know if you know this, but those are like drugs in the pantry. Those are terrible. It's all I can do to resist eating those things. And when you eat them in front of me, oh my gosh, it's all I can do to not just grab the bag and start eating them myself. So if there's a way that we could solve this problem, I know you want to help me, but if there's a way that, I don't know, if you could just eat them somewhere else, that would be such a huge help to me.
Check out that kind of statement. It's not a criticism. No one's being blamed there. It's a disclosure. It's inviting your partner and giving your partner more options to help you, a partner who might well want to help you. That's the kind of thing that can get your partner's creative juices running. A lot of times our partners just want to say, oh, I didn't know. But now that I know, yeah, of course. I can take that outside. There's no reason why I can still eat it, but I don't have to eat it in front of you. Those are the kind of perfect solutions that you create a space for them to spontaneously arise.
So here's the point about our first trap. If you're in a relationship, you and your partner are affecting each other all the time. And smart couples know that healthy habits have a way of expanding in our relationships. Couples who take advantage of their mutual influence find all kinds of easy opportunities to make a big difference in each other's health. But they have to communicate what they need so that they can make those changes, even if they're small, make those healthy changes happen every day in their relationship.